Okay, we're just gonna switch over to this right now because I need to fix the mic on the other one. So let's just get started. We've got two cameras. I'm gonna have my palette for you over here. That's different. We haven't done that before. And sorry, I picked the mic up and now the mic cord's showing. The illusion of organization is not happening right now. Okay, so we've got our regular watercolor, like reading watercolor labels. I don't have it up here for you because I've got a new setup here and I'm just not sure where to put it. So I'm gonna leave it here for a second for you to check out while I explain a little bit about these paints here. And hopefully, we don't even need this mic. It's not even working. Why is it in the way? So hopefully the sound quality is still decent. I don't know what, I mean, I don't feel like my backup mic is terrible, but I prefer my Yeti. So these paints I actually got in 2020. Like they were my like pandemic paints and they have been really wonderful to use. I really, really like them. They are Korean. I meant to research a little bit about them before today's swatch, but I didn't get to it because I wanted to get this mic working. I really want you guys to be able, trying to not use the word guys, something a little more gender neutral, although where I come from, it is gender neutral, but some people don't consider it that way. This is going to be where I'm going to be swatching the paints or like putting them on the palette. I think it's really useful to see that and see how the paints move on a surface. It's not just on the paper that's important. Also, the paper that we're using is subpar, in my opinion. It's fine for what I need it to do. I just need to have, sorry, I can hear that my voice is like gravelly. It's been like this all day. Sorry, I'm looking at my mug and ascertaining whether or not I feel like it's clean. I never know where cat hair is gonna go because she climbs all over this table. Well, if I eat a cat hair, I eat a cat hair. No, that doesn't look clean at all. I'm so sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on a second. I know we just got here, but I gotta go get myself some water that isn't cat haired. Let's okay, sorry about that. We've got cat hair free water now. The cat herself, hold on. I think I'm backwards today. Am I? Yeah. I moved all my cameras around and so everything just feels wonkier than usual. Okay. I don't think it makes much of a difference to all of you. You don't know if it's backwards or not, but I do. I could flip it, but we're just gonna accept it. Okay. So back to Mijello. Yes, mic's working. Sorry, I had to check that. Back to Mijello. Okay, this is a Korean watercolor. I wanted to research a bit about it, but unfortunately, I had some camera issues that I wanted to solve. And by issues, I just meant I wanted to use these two cameras. And I wanted to adjust the color quality, and I think that overheated my computer. So I had to turn my computer off. So it was a whole thing. I think the color is correct here. I think it's still not correct here. I think that's oversaturated. You see? Oh, no, it's still oversaturated over here. Well, I've tried. We'll keep working at this, and I'll make another video like maybe painting with the Mijello and you'll get to see the colors correctly. So this is a big box. They have a lot of big boxes. I thought that I was getting, I thought the biggest I got it on eBay. They're kind of hard to find. I thought I was getting the biggest, but it turned out it was some other model. I have these paints, and then I also have these, and I'm not sure which ones originally came in the box. I got them so that I could put them in this like giant palette, and it would teach you to mix the colors. And I like literally never followed through on that. I made the palette, but I've never used the palette. I always planned to make a video about it, and other things took precedent, like making travel videos basically, or oh yeah, physical health, like that totally got in the way. So I didn't get to make all the videos that I wanted to make. So these probably, I think, are actually part of the set, and then there were some additional ones that I purchased. I want to say indigo, maybe Prussian blue. I think one of the blues, definitely. This is a set of 24, and so we've got, well, it's 24, but it's 26 including the black and the white, and then 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We've got 30 paints. That's a lot. So let's get started. These are some of my favorite paints because they, why am I closing this? Okay. I've got some other stuff to tell you, but I'll tell you when we're taking a break. Let's leave it open. We don't need to close it. Let's get this over here. I like them because they stay put. So when I'm swatching them, they move the least. In my opinion, Core moves the most, like it's the most fluid and goes all over the place. And Mijello moves the least, as far as out of the paints I've tried, which isn't all of them. So is that possible? Could anyone, you know, do all of them? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to be evaluating according to this. As far as I remember, they actually have a lot of information on it. I've already swatched. That red is bright. And you can see my hands. My hands are actually not this red in person. They are much more pale and pasty looking. I'm not a very red person, but I'm saying that so that you get an idea. I was able to color correct pretty well for the blues. Like when I would color correct for this would get desaturated way too much. So the magenta and the red. So I'm gonna look into downloading some more color modifications and adding that code to OBS. I use OBS, and when I do figure that out, we'll get a better product. But this is the information that I was able to find on just on the tubes, and it's pretty well, like they're pretty big. So if you're in the store and it's not a well lit store and you were trying to buy these, which I don't think you could in the US, I don't know any art supply stores that sell them, but if you wanted to, you'd be able to be like, oh, the light fastness is great on this one. I could totally tell. Whereas a lot of paints, yeah, you're in the dark. You're not gonna know. This card here, I swatched for this palette. This palette was one of my first palettes, and it's just one of my travel palettes. We're gonna get it out of the way now. That's why it was there, so you could see that. And we're gonna put this away for now because we need more space. Let's see. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to do with this camera, is like have the paints in there, but wow. Are we gonna fit? I could maybe adjust the camera. I wanted to be able to put more on screen for you all. If you guys have any suggestions, what you want to be seeing, let me know, because this is so incredibly awkward to fit it all, and I just haven't figured it out yet. Look, the two cameras are too close together. They're having a war. Okay, let's get our brushes wet. I also wanted you to be able to see my water. Not because it's not so important for swatching. I'd like to figure it out for when I'm doing paintings, because how you use the water is super important. in watercolor, how much you use and how much you don't use. You want to see if I've used this rag to like wipe it. You'd want to know, like, had I gotten rid of some of the water. I'm having trouble. I'm a little frazzled because of the camera thing, so I'm having trouble like following my thoughts through. Okay, so we're doing Mijello. I like that name. Mission Gold, I like less. I grew up in Southern California. Went to a lot of missions growing up, and although I like them, it's not really the vibe for me. Missions are they're beautiful, but what they stand for and what they did, yeah, I'm not so happy with how they treated the natives. Okay, so, oh, look how pretty I wrote it here. Would have been nice if I had chosen to do that all throughout these books, but this is just purely utilitarian, I guess. So we want to know the pigment number and the name, and we've already got it in color order here. You're kind of not going to see that because, okay, let's move. What do you want to see? Somebody, oh, okay, is somebody, hi Leanne, what do you want to see? Do you want to see in the little camera? Do you want to see the paints, or do you want to see the what we're looking for? I'm going for, we're going to go for palette. Don't worry, it's going to be better next time when I've learned from this experience. And I think we're going to actually start with the reds. I don't think there's any reds in here. And we'll do browns on the other side. Okay, well, we're going to start over here, go this way. And as far as like which red we're going to do first, probably magenta. I always start with magenta. And then go over, oh yeah, and then do like whatever's the most pink one. So we're going to start with pink. So we're doing quinacridone magenta. How are you today, Leanne? Looks great. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The thing that's really awesome about these paints is they're all single pigments. I'll talk more about that later. And they're all relatively light fast. Somebody was saying in the comment section last live stream that Korean watercolors just tend to be great for layering. I've had good luck layering these, but I didn't know that they were designed specifically for that. So these are transparent. What I love, let's see if the camera will, I trust this camera a little bit more, I think. Okay, do you see it says light fastness, then it says transparent, then it says semi-staining. Like it has all the information except for granulation. But maybe that's on the granulating pigments. A lot of times they just don't bother mentioning granulation unless it's granulating. And it's semi-staining. And oh, I forgot to write the pigment number. We've got a lot of other information. PR122. 122. And I need a clip for, the clips are on my easel. Do you see can you guys see my easel? No. I can see it in my camera, but I don't think you can see it the way I've cropped the camera. I got a new easel that I'm really excited about. Great, your lighting looks beautiful. Oh, really? Okay, thank you. I'm always a little bit unsure about the lighting. Mostly because it changes and you don't know You don't know if it's gonna work out. All right. Okay, we've got a little bit of separation of the binder, and because of that, I'm gonna put a little bit more pigment. That happens in a lot of paints. Anybody who's new to watercolor, it doesn't have to be a big deal, but it's certainly annoying. But we're not gonna really see the realistic way that this paint's gonna move. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. This book, I don't know if we can fit 30 paints all here. Like, I don't know if I can write small enough. So the way the paint would flow, we're not gonna get a very accurate, like, experience. First of all, this paper's kind of weird. Second of all, do you guys feel like you can see this well? I switched cameras because I was really unhappy with the quality of the other camera I was using, and I'm still not sure I like this. They all say that they're 4K, but then they don't do 4K. Like, it's not very 4K like. 4K just means like a lot of information, and even if you zoom in, you should still have the information. It shouldn't get blurry. And I'm finding that because you have to put the cameras pretty high up. You can see that the light is a little bit in my face. There are some cameras that have zooms and stuff. I just don't own them. I didn't originally do a lot of top-down recording. But it would be almost impossible to do at an easel recording with this, all the stuff that we have to work with. It would be fine while doing a painting, but it's not so easy while doing swatching, because I want you to be able to see like what we're swatching, and now I want you to see the palette. Okay, so quinacridone, permanent rose, and I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. The light fastness is amazing. I assume 5 stars is amazing, actually. Could be bad, I guess. It's semi-opaque, and it is semi-staining. For those of you who are not like really familiar with what those things mean, hold on. PB19. It's useful to know this information when you're choosing a paint. We have a lot to choose from in this set. We have so many different colors, and so we can be a bit choosy. This one looks like it's not going to separate. Let's see which camera wins as far as like focusing. Yay! We have a winner. I could not get the other camera that I was using to focus no matter what I did. And it's a great camera. These are all great cameras, but like they're better as vlogging cameras than as that's not the paintbrush I want to use. That's going to be my backup. They're not good for detail. I don't think vlogs. That is such a gorgeous color. Wow. How pretty. I don't have many pinks because they tend to not do well with lighting. They tend to be all not light fast, and so I haven't purchased. I guess this is more of a red than a pink, but it's called Rose. Rose is a pink color, right? A lot is coming out of the tube. That makes me sad. That means a lot that we're gonna waste. Okay, we're seeing some movement. I mean, it's moving. I'm always surprised, like in practice, how differently things work than when you're swatching. Because swatching, you're supposed to be doing like a lot of tests, but like when you're in the moment using it, like when I used these, the last thing I painted with it was a snail, and it just stays where you put it. You put it down, it stays there. Whereas with here, I do see a substantial amount of movement. So permanent red deep. I need to write smaller. I wish I was one of those people that when I made a notebook or something, it looked really neat and pretty. Leanne, you're one of those people. When you make something, it always looks so organized and pretty. Okay, I forgot to read them out loud. Great light fastness, 5 stars. It's transparent and it's semi-staining. So this would be great to use. Well, we'll get into that later. PR254. If something's staining, this is semi-staining, so then I was like, meh. Hey, Leanne, if you come back, I don't know if you're just lurking or what, but if you come back, can you tell me how the sound is? Oh, there's many attempts that don't. Oh, you just don't show me? I want to see your mess ups so I can feel better about myself. Like, you've seen all my work. It tends towards chaos. Although I do find that there's differences medicated and not medicated for ADHD. For me personally. And I actually researched it a little bit because I wanted to know what medications would do to the way my brain works and how, like, would I be less creative? Because that's actually something I sometimes struggle with, is coming up with something to paint that's unique to me and kind of special. And like, I shouldn't say can't. I struggle to paint from imagination. I always have to have a reference image because the pictures in my head aren't super strong. If you're thinking these colors look exactly the same and you're wondering if it's your monitor, it's not. They look pretty much the same. This is more pink, but they're so similar in hue. That's not it. Saturation? I think it's saturation. Like value. They're the same in value. Okay, so we've got some movement there. Let me lift all of this for you. Ta-da-da! Look how pretty. I'm here. Sounds good. Sounds good. I do too. You do too what? I'm so sorry. I talk so much and then people comment like, I agree with you. And I'm like, what are we agreeing about? I said 20 things. I'm learning in therapy how to like pretty colors. Oh, yeah, they are. I'm going to assume that's not what you agree on. I'm learning in therapy, or actually I'm not learning in therapy. I just have been learning to ask people, please interrupt me if I get on a tangent. Like, it's fine. Be nice about it, but like, please do interrupt me. It's a request I've learned to make to people because sometimes I just won't. I'll just continue talking and not realize it's not my turn anymore. You said it's hard to come up. Really? For you? I think, man, I wish I could share your work on here. I'm sure that I can. I just don't know how. Actually, I think you can on, well, here, put your Instagram in the chat so that people can see your work. It's so cute. And I feel like you come up with really original ideas, like the pencils, like when you were swatching. It's markers that you were swatching, right? Was it pencils? The last thing you shared with me. It was so cool. So permanent red. I don't think I said the last one. It was permanent red deep. This one's just permanent red. And it is probably 5 stars. And it is probably the same pigment number as the other one, as permanent red deep, but maybe just like synthesized differently. Let's see. PR122. I'm wrong. PR112. And it is transparent and non-staining. So what would I use this for? I'm having like a brain fart. At Leanne Markle. Also, everything comes from something. Have you ever heard there's no such thing as an original idea? Oh no, what is happening? Oh, I thought it was moldy. Y'all, those of you who've been here a lot know that I'm allergic to mold. And it's not, it's just the cap got stuck inside. But I've had some moldy paints, so I've learned to be wary. Leanne, you were saying, yeah, I totally agree with that. But I do think that there are some people, because of the way their brains work, they've got a lot of images in their head, or they're very experienced artists. So when they draw a tree, they can draw the tree that they've drawn 100 times. I just tend to not like redo. Like I can do eyes. Like I could do an eye out of my head, but I can't think of too many other things that I could just draw. And I don't even know why eyes, because I don't think I've drawn them that much, but maybe I did as a teen. So this is permanent red and it's not deep, and I don't really see a huge difference in color, and maybe it's my lighting. My lighting's just the teeniest bit yellow, a little bit warm. Huh. Maybe when it dries, it'll look different, but it looks the same on the palette, right? Although this is overexposed, to be fair. And I could fix that, but then I'm gonna be sitting there making you all wait some more. Actually, there's no guarantee it would actually get fixed, because I was working on it this morning and last night, and this is like kind of as good as it gets. Okay, we're gonna put Chinese white over here. I'm gonna move my chair. Autumn orange. I love the name of this color. You know what I find odd is, like, if it's a Korean watercolor, why is it in English? Can anybody explain that to me? Does anybody know? Has anybody gotten these from Korea and they were in Korean? I mean, I don't even see anything on here that's remotely Korean, other than where it says made in Korea, but it's not in Korean. So I don't know if this is like a set just for Westerners. Yeah, Autumn Orange. What a nice name. I've got some autumn orange crumbs on the paper. So we've got 5 stars so far. All of them are 5 stars. I don't think there's very many that aren't, if any. And I think that might be this specific set, might be colors that are single pigment and very light fast. Maybe. I don't remember, because it's been, can you believe 2020 was like 5 years ago now? It's been a while. And I don't even remember how I found out about these. I think I found out about them from a YouTuber. But which one, I couldn't tell you. There's one that I watch a lot, and she mostly works with watercolor, and that is Arlebeen. I think it was from her, and it's not the only one that I got, that I found out about through her. But I mean, you can Google her and see if she's used them. But I can't remember for sure. And it would be an old video. Like 2020 old, probably 2019. Oh, let's watch it. Oh, just the perfect amount came out that time. That's so nice. And I like that this one, it's giving us some space so that we know where we are on our swatching journey. I mean, I think that's fair to call this autumn orange. It's just a very autumny type orange. I'm gonna read your comment. I just saw your comment come up, but this is one of those things that's time sensitive. If you mess around on it, it won't mix as well. hold this up and let you watch it mix while I read the comment. Even if I have an idea or don't, once I start sketching out things, that helps me get into the zone. Then the process leads me to something different. That's why I love the process the best. Yeah, that doesn't happen for me. Do you have, is it just natural for you? I get ideas when I'm asleep. I'll get an image pop in my head of like something that I want to paint. And if I got up and like painted it, it'd probably be amazing. But I don't ever do that. I just go back to sleep or because I really want to do what you're doing. We need to talk about this more in depth. We should do a joint YouTube video talking about this topic because I really want to understand it. And it seems like you are closer. You say you're not there, but that sounds like you're there. I know that there are some artists with synesthesia and they'll just come up with really amazing things. And that means that you have absolutely, no, sorry, not synesthesia. Synesthesia is when your senses are mixed and like you taste colors or hear numbers, something like that. I'm thinking of something else where you do not see visual pictures in your head. I keep a running log of ideas. Yeah, I do that. I have a running log of ideas, but I don't have a picture in my head go to where I could draw from imagination, where I can just start drawing it. I don't know. I do it sometimes, but I'm just always, maybe I'm just unhappy with the result. So maybe it's just like, because I don't have a super clear idea of how I want it to look, I'll paint it or draw it and then be like, eh. And then I don't follow through on it. I mean, I do sometimes. Red orange, great light fastness. It is semi-transparent, semi-staining, and it is PO 73. Like I follow through on a lot of paintings, but I'm not necessarily happy with the end result. I think a lot of times maybe my composition's off or I don't like the colors. I just feel like I'm still very much in the experimental stages of being an artist. And I think at a certain point, people tend to be a little bit happier with their art, with what they make. I think you're being hard on yourself, maybe. But it's not like I'm not criticizing myself. I'm not saying that there's something. It's more like I make stuff and I'm like, eh. I do make stuff I like. It does happen. I just don't feel like it's very frequent. I'm just like, oh, yeah. I would like that if this were different. And I think a lot of times it's the colors I use. Like I think I should focus more on using warm tones. That's what I wear in my clothes. And if I did that, I think that I'd be happier with a lot of my art. Also, if I spent a little bit more time thinking about composition, because a lot of times I'm just like, something's off. And it's usually composition. An artist friend who's on here a lot, she thinks, Katie, she thinks that it's like value. Maybe, and it may be that. But that's a lot of things, right? That's a lot of things that are kind of just off a little bit, and then it adds up, and then you're just like, oh, I don't like this painting. I think that's why having a sketchbook is super important, because then you just experiment and make a lot of mistakes, and you don't have to like the product. You just have to keep going. And I kind of stopped doing sketchbooks as much when I stopped being able to drink coffee. You can look up references for the idea you have and start there. That helps me if I don't have any idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I use tons of references when I do paint. Like I can't really paint without a reference. This one's very liquidy, but it doesn't seem like the binder's separated. I've also started using AI to like create compositions. I'm not gonna post what I make in AI. First of all, it's not that good. It just looks weird sometimes. But the other thing is like I want to see if this is going to be worth making a painting. If I can get it to make the thing, if I'm able to describe it in detail enough that it actually makes what's in my head, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, and I want to do that. So I actually have a couple of things. I have two out of many, many things I've plugged into AI, and I'm like, that's not what I was wanted. I'm getting distracted. I was like, I thought I hadn't written down the information yet, and I did. I love this color. See, this color should be in my paintings, but not too much. When I first started painting, I used way too much yellow. I don't know why. I think it's because I was trying to use the CMYK model, and that's where you mix with magenta, cyan, which is like a version of blue, and a blue-green, and yellow, lemon yellow. And because I was just using these basic colors, if I didn't mix well enough, I would end up with a really bright painting, which isn't really what I wanted. I wanted something more muted. So lemon yellow is the color that the yellow that you want to use when you're doing the CMYK. Also, you learn something from every drawing painting. So true. That's so true. You can learn, I hate this. I don't like this painting. I'm just kidding. I'm being facetious. I totally agree with you. Although I literally have learned that. I'm like, oh, I just don't like this. Or sometimes I've learned like, oh, I don't want to do this subject matter. Painting these kinds of paintings doesn't bring me joy. A lot of times that's what I'm learning. And I think that's fine. So amazing light fastness. It's semi-transparent and semi-staining. And it is PY3. Sound is good. How do you say your name? Dalaba. I know I've seen you on here before. Did I not try to say your name before? I probably didn't. I don't know. Sound is good. Anyways, I'm really glad that the sound is good. And I'm going to sound out your name later when I'm feeling more confident. So lemon yellow is exactly, the name is exactly what you'd think it would be. It's just a very bright, pure yellow. It tends to be very clear without much orange or much green added, or blue, I guess. But I prefer my yellow to be more of an orange. Which is why this set's kind of good for me, because there's only one orangey yellow. And it kind of helps me not use too much of the orangey yellow, because it's not the color that I would normally want it. It's not the color I would normally want to use. Okay, permanent yellow. The color I would normally want to use is a little bit more, probably like the yellow ochre. I'm realizing what I just said makes no sense, but I can't think of a way to explain it better. I'm going to let my brain process that and come back to that probably. Or not. It's just sometimes really hard for me to multitask. So we've got it's transparent. This next one is transparent, and it is semi-staining, and it is PY154. Well, I opened this. Oh no! It's stuck. Yay! I got it. Okay. Scalabald. Am I anywhere close? Oh, that's interesting. It was like dried and it made a bubble. A bubble that is too big to put on my palette. That is too much. That's the yellow that I like. I guess I did them out of order. It should have been over here. But we've kind of, I thought this one had permanent yellow light. I guess I do have a yellow in this set that's good. Which one did I use? I know with this one I just used the ones that I thought would be good mixing. So that's why I put magenta, even though I don't like magenta in my paintings. And lemon yellow, I don't like lemon yellow in my paintings. Oh, that's what I was going to say. This set is good for me because I can eliminate the lemon yellow, the yellows that I don't like, and not accidentally use it in my painting when I forget to mix. I spent a huge amount of time when I was learning how to paint doing the CMYK method, and I wanted to get really good at mixing. And I think that I really got good at copying paintings just as they are, but I don't know if I got that good at mixing because it was almost like I tended to just use the default paints that are there. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh no! I just lifted dirty water onto the... Let's clean it up. Okay, that's better. Okay, next is yellow ochre. Number 2. I don't know if there's a number 1, but I don't have it. Its sight fastness is again amazing. And it's very opaque. That's cool to use like at the end of a painting then to like cover up anything you don't like. It's non-staining. Staining is usually better for your first layer. If you want to staining, if you want to benefit from the properties of each paint, the stain is best. Come on, come out. What is happening? Is it dried? Is it like overly thick? I don't know what to do. Did I never use this one? We can pop it with the back of the paintbrush. Or I could just squeeze it harder. Is anything happening? What? This has never happened before. We'll use a seam ripper. This is probably for export purposes. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about. Could you explain? How far down is it dried? Where can I do this? This is making a mess. Oh, okay. A lot came out, but that's fine because a lot of the binders mixed, like not mixed in. Cleaning. Oh yeah, I could show you my water. Look at that. Not that it matters so much for these paintings. You don't need to see my water as much for swatching as would be useful for oh, that's a cool color. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think you get a pretty accurate, this color is pretty accurate on my screen at least. I don't know about yours. Someone was saying they can do color correction that's like not based on what you see on the screen. And I'm like, how? If you don't have a screen, like I don't understand it conceptually. I'm sure that like you can use the, is it a histogram? Like or a color map of some sort to be like, this is where it needs to be. Maybe you can tell if it's like blowing out the reds, but I wouldn't say that this is maybe blowing off the charts or their tool, whatever it was. I couldn't figure out where to get the tool or how to get it, so I didn't use it. I'm gonna keep searching though, because that'd be great. Just because all screens are different, so if you can color correct to like some sort of standard, then you probably would benefit your viewer a lot more, because everybody's screen that they're using is a little different. So green gold, that's a color I really liked when I first started using watercolor. I don't remember why I liked it so much. I just thought it was cool. Or I found it unique and different. So it's transparent, it is staining, and it is PY150. I mean, are we going to actually fit all these in one page? Can we fit 6 more? Maybe. If we just don't bother to swatch the black or the white. What's my favorite medium? My favorite medium is definitely watercolor, which is surprising to me because as a kid I really did not like it. I found the paints were so subpar, like what they gave us. I think if I had been like a European child, maybe I would have liked watercolor, because the Europeans tend to give their kids. I feel like this is not a good example of a green gold. I feel like maybe more binder, maybe too much binder came out. But yeah, I like watercolor because I don't know why I like it. I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I always come back to watercolor. For a while, my obsession was the markers. Yours too, right? Are you still obsessed with the markers with Copics? That was like my first like artsy art supply obsession. In high school, I loved art, did a lot of art, but I didn't, I think I was obsessed with colored pencils. I really wanted like the good ones, but I couldn't afford them as a high school student. Yeah, I used a lot of colored pencil, but I was a little bit hardier back then, and using colored pencils now like hurts my arm, my back if I use them too much. So I like to do watercolor and then do colored pencil on top. That way I get to enjoy both. But watercolors, I don't know, it kind of just like has a magical vibe to it, but so do Copics. Okay, so Copics are still your favorite? Yeah. Yeah, Copics have like this ethereal thing. Also, like I got excited about Copics because I had a lot of magazines that I was reading. And for the most part, they are digital art. It's like, I forgot the name, but it's like FX. Something FX is the name of the magazine. And the people, when they were not using digital media, they were using Copics. And what they made was just so magical to me. Because the art has changed since high school. Like the styles of art have changed since I was in high school. And so you see different people doing different things. And when I got back into art after 20 some years, I was like, whoa, look what people are making. I remember I wanted a giant iPad just because of what I could see people making on the iPads with Procreate. And I use Procreate all the time, but it's usually for very practical things, and I don't make beautiful paintings. So the bamboo green, love that name. The bamboo green is, oh, I'm sorry, we're out of frame. It is light fast as the rest of them. It is transparent and it's semi-staining, and it is PG 36. And I love this green, and I love this set because it has some greens in it. I tend to not buy greens, and I tend to just make them, but I love green, and so it's so nice to have some greens. I have this song that I played for Be Right Back for you guys when I left to go clean out my mug. I have that song in my head, and I've heard that song a lot more than you all have. And I don't want it in my head. The other song that I've had in my head, I'm afraid to tell it to you guys because it's probably been in all your heads. And if I say it, it'll get in your head. It'll be fine for the people who are watching this in the future, like 10 years in the future. I love alcohol markers because they're so vibrant. Yeah, right? And they're so, like, the only thing I don't like about them is that they go through to the other side of the page, and I just find that frustrating. But I find that the fact that they absorb into a paper to be kind of fascinating. But I love watercolor too because it can have a mind of its own. Yeah, I guess that's what I like about it. Like, it's kind of like a co-creation instead of me being able to control it, which these Mijellos you actually can control pretty accurately, but most watercolors you can't. And I do think that's one of the things I like about watercolor. All right, do you guys want to know the song that was in my head? It was in my son's too. And I'm not sure if he likes the artist. Cobalt Green Deep. The light fastness is the same as all the rest of them, and that's 5. And this one is opaque, so it would be good for covering mistakes, but it's not staining, which usually anything that's like, I find like if it's opaque, it's probably not staining. If the pigments, if the particles are small, are big enough to cover without being transparent, then it's probably not going to stain because the pigments need to go in the cracks of the paper. They have to be small enough to go in the cracks. So PB 36. So I just see like a pattern a lot of the time. Not always, but if you have this, you're going to have that. This symbol equals that, and vice versa. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I just think more small ground up pigments has certain properties. And oh boy, I think there's a lot of binder. Okay, we're going to just take this directly. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of binder. Here, you want to know what binder looks like? It's yellow, which I think is interesting. That all watercolors kind of gonna have maybe a brownish tint. I've never seen a binder that wasn't yellow. Or brown. I guess this is more brown. Some people put the binder back in and mix it up. I think that's a great idea if like a ton comes out, but if only a little bit comes out, I don't worry about it because I don't want to be introducing any bacteria into a tube because I don't want my paint to get moldy. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. I love this teal color. Or cobalt green deep. I think we're gonna fit this all on 2 pages. This is amazing. Yeah, you have to have paper that works well with it. Yeah. Do you have a paper you like? I can't remember. I ended up not sticking with alcohol markers because I found it kind of expensive. My kiddo used them for a while. He liked them, but he doesn't, at the moment, believe in art. I don't know if that's really true. I'm kidding, but like, Yeah, I searched long and far for like a paper that I liked, and I didn't have success with them, and I think that's weird. I feel like if somebody says this paper works well with alcohol markers, it just like I don't know why anybody would have a different experience. But paper is one of those things where people will say like, "Oh, I love this paper. I love this paper." Somebody was saying that they love this book for doing watercolor, and I'm like, "Why?" "Oh, no. You're not getting accurate color. This is really bright." Huh. I gotta fix this. I'm sorry. You guys deserve better. Just give me a minute. You're gonna probably see what I'm doing. So get behind the Oz curtain. Actually, I don't know what you'll see. You guys tell me what you see. I'm gonna go into the back settings and I'm gonna adjust a filter. It'll make the reds more bright. Okay, hold on. Oh, let me see. Is that better? Wait, why isn't it changing? That's odd. Am I doing the right one? Okay, it is changing. It's just really subtle. Okay, I think. Nope. Why isn't this working? Huh. When I tested this last night, unfortunately, it was dark. And so the light that I was doing it to, oh, okay. We're getting there. Nope. Nope. I mean, that's a little closer. That's not black at all. Hold on. Sorry for the delay here. Did I change the color somewhere else? Huh. Why isn't it changing it? It's so odd. It'll make all these big changes and then suddenly nothing that I can see. Oh, this is getting worse and worse. I think we're worse off than when we started. Huh. This is so odd. I think it's because it must be because I worked on the colors for artificial light only, and I've got a window open. Wow, this is so bad. Okay, I'm going to remove this and remove this. Why is the color so bizarre still? Okay. Definitely oversaturated, but we're getting somewhere. Okay, well, it's too bright, but I'm going to cut this all out for anybody who's there later. For those of you who are watching this live, I'm so sorry. I thought I had this under control. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's better. It's so frustrating to me that like every camera I've had, I'm just not happy with the color. Okay, well, at least that's green again. So sorry for the delay. Let's swatch that Viridian. Did we already put Viridian down? No. We didn't even finish writing because I looked over and I was like, these colors aren't even close. So Viridian is transparent. Unless I tell you otherwise, I'm not going to tell you from this point forward whether or not it's light fast because they just kind of all are. So it is transparent and it's semi-staining. And it is PG7. Here's another one where it's like dried around the edges. I mean, pretty good for like 5-year-old paints, right? Most of my paints are older now because I kind of, that was my pandemic splurge. Okay. It's a little dark. The color that you're seeing right here, well, I think we're getting close enough that if I swatch it out, there you go, that color right there. That's accurate. That's what we've got. So look at the mids. That color right there. That color right there. Those are more accurate. The reds are not this bright, but they're pretty close. These are very bright reds. Okay, now cobalt turquoise hue. I love this one because I like to use it as a highlight. Although normally I would do that at a pencil. I would usually switch to a pencil by the time I'm doing those highlights. Cobalt turquoise hue. I don't know what hue means exactly. Oh my gosh, I just said I'm not going to tell you unless it's actually different. This one's only 4 stars instead of 5 as far as transparency goes. And it is semi-staining and semi-transparent. PB28. This one's been used a lot, and it came out of the tube beautifully. Maybe because it's been used a lot, I don't know. Are you guys seeing accurate? I think you're seeing more, I think it's more blue for you. I mean, it's not far. I would just add, like, in your brain, add the tiniest amount. And this is assuming that your monitor and my monitor are similar, but add just the tiniest bit of yellow and you'll get the right color. And this one's granulating. Uh-oh, I forgot how dirty the water is. Gotta clean it up. We're not gonna get it clear. Most of them haven't been granulating. We're probably gonna get into a lot of granulation with the browns. and the blues, but so far these, we've only got 1, 2 that look like they're granulating. That would be green gold and cobalt turquoise. And that's actually something I like about this brand, is that it isn't super granulating. I love granulation, but there's just so many times that you don't want it in portraits. Or I don't want it in portraits. Cobalt blue. So cobalt turquoise, now we're doing cobalt blue, number 2. And we're back to full light fastness, semi-transparent. And semi-staining, PB28. We fit them all. This is incredible. I'm gonna need to stand up for a minute once I finish this one and get the blood flowing again. I think that looks like binder. Let's shake it. That never does anything, but I have hopes. I mean, as far as like the amount of binder that came out, it's not the worst one today. Yay, you're getting, well, according to my monitor, the color that I'm seeing is the color you're seeing. I guess it's better to have overblown reds than to have underdeveloped other colors. I mean, to be honest though, like these are very bright. I did it again. I don't know why I'm doing that. That's the 3rd time. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'm gonna go change my water. So I think I'll leave the camera on if you want to check out the cat, because I won't be gone long. Kitty? Hi. The mic actually might pick up her meowing because we're not using the nice mic that has just a like more limited range. Yeah? Hi. I need to stretch. I probably sound pretty echoey, but okay, we've made it through already half. That's great. How are we doing on time? Not bad, considering that I had so many like hiccups get in the way. Oh, actually, we're gonna have plenty of room because we had 4 extra paints. So I'm looking here. Oh, here we go. That'll fit. So we've already done this side. We got to do this side, but we've also already done this. So we've done 4 more, then we'll have to squeeze in on this side. So that's great. And you're probably not going to be able to see this palette because this is now wet. I cannot put this on top of it. Oh, I'm sorry if that's breaking your heart. Why is it so zoomed in? Why is everything confusing to me today? Like everything that I thought I did isn't what Nothing's making sense. All right, we've got extra room. Oh my gosh. When did this happen? That's a nice thing about watercolors. It's usually not like staining to your clothes. What is happening? Look what I've done. I was gonna swatch the blues down at the bottom anyways. I'm gonna take off this sweater. I hope I don't get any paint on this shirt because it's, yeah, it won't come out. Why did that happen? Did you all see me do that? So so fun. Sorry I have to drop off. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Leanne, for coming and sharing your Instagram if anybody wants to check it out. If anybody wants to see like really cute art, Leanne makes very cute art. All right, we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Or we could go with browns and work our way down to blue. But I think I want the blues to be next to each other. Oh, I see. That's what we smeared. I don't know about the yellow. I was looking, I thought I smeared here. And it looks perfect. So I'm like, where did I touch the paint? But I could see there's a little bit of, oh, you can't see. No, you still can't see, but there's some mess up here. I remember I wanted to do this last time. I wanted to go from top to bottom. Bad idea, because then my hand will be in the paint all the time. So we're gonna actually start up here, and it's just not gonna match up. It is what it is. So we're gonna start with Payne's Gray. And that is amazingly light fast, and it is transparent, it is semi-staining, and it is PB153, PV19, PBK7. And Payne's Gray is one that I didn't use for a long time. Like, I didn't have any watercolor sets with Payne's Gray in it, and I heard people talk about it a lot, and this one has a lot of blue in it. Sorry. I feel like Payne's Gray is supposed to be gray, very neutral, but I feel like most of the time it turns out very blue. All right, nobody asked. Nobody said they wanted to hear it. The song that's in my head, but I'm gonna tell you. Pink, it's, what is the name of it? Pink Pony Girl, right? Is that the name of the song? I know that's the chorus. That's been in my head. That's been in my son's head. It's been in my husband's. And I don't think my son listens to that kind of music. He's like kind of a jazz and R&B and other kinds of music. So this one is actually swatching out to be a little more neutral than I expected from how it looks here. I feel like the color that I'm seeing on my monitor is accurate, but it's not what, I mean, yeah, it's kind of, we're kind of getting a little bit more of that light blue. Did you know that makeup pigments don't have blue in them as an undertone? They have black. And the black that's used in makeup has blue undertones. And I'm like, do all makeups use the exact same? I was floored, because when we're working with watercolor, we have tons of pigments, and I'm just wondering if most of them are like toxic to put on skin or something. they're on my skin all the time, so I hope not. We're going over to browns now. We could do black. Let's swatch black because we do have space. Theoretically, oh my gosh. I just like put my whole body so that I can get it down so you can see it. I put my whole body in the paint. Not quite. It was close though. So this is ivory black. And it is very, 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 very permanent. And it is semi-opaque, so you could cover things with it relatively well. And it is semi-staining, which means it won't lift that easily. Maybe it doesn't matter if you're using it last and covering things up. I don't tend to bother with black in watercolor because you can mix your own black that'll kind of look more vibrant. But I've started experimenting with it because I feel like I've done watercolor long enough to like know when using it would be great and when using it would be not so great. Black with watercolor. The way watercolor works is that you're using the white of the paper to create luminance. So you can paint opaquely with watercolor as if it was gouache, if you get the right paints, like the right colors. Some colors tend to be really opaque. You could do that, but you'll lose the effect of luminosity. And if you use black, also, you tend to lose the luminosity because I guess it's just, it absorbs so much light that it kind of makes everything else around it kind of maybe deadens it. I don't know. I don't actually use it often enough to have an opinion on what it does to my paintings or to be upset with it. Okay, the next one we're doing is Van Dyke Brown. It's very, very dark. A dark brown. And I love all these browns, but I won't use them. I won't use them in portraits most of the time for dark skin because they have too much granulation. But we'll see. We'll check. I keep hoping that they'll be like a nice brown and then I can have a convenience color for painting dark skin colors. But so far, I have not had any luck. If anybody has any recommendations, I'd love to hear them. So this is semi-transparent and non-staining, and it is PBR7. And look how great I've done. We really have, oh wow, that was all binder. I hope some of that's paint. We've not, I don't feel like this is going to be accurate. Look at that. That's just all binder. Maybe I should try. I think this is one maybe that I tried to put the binder back in. I don't know if I've done that with any brand other than Sennelier. Wow, this is gross. How frustrating. I just feel like it's a waste. I wonder if when the binder separates, if the paint acts differently. Because those paints that dried out, I don't think it's because they're binder. Yeah, that's like super. The part that was like binder free was like, it's like almost like sticking. It's not, it's like hard to move. Is the Pure Pigment set? Mine just arrived today. Ooh, I'm gonna assume this is your name. Imanina. I'm not sure how to say your name. Imanina. I think it is, but there's more than one set. So yours might be different. Like that is what mine was called. Oh, why is the cord here? Sorry. I feel so unprofessional today. It's called the Pure Pigment set. It's 24 colors, 26 including black and white. But when I ordered it, I was surprised about what it was. I thought I was getting something else. DH. Hi, I've had a set of these for years. Love how creamy they are, except for one of the blues, how vibrant. But now that I'm selling art, need to check for light fast. I mean, these are crazy light fast. Never had binder issues, but I got mine years ago. Yeah, I mean, I would say this isn't like the worst as far as binder issues. There are some brands that are so much worse, but I haven't used them in a long time. I've been using other paints. So it may just be that they've sat in the tube too long or something. I'm really not sure. Well, as far as like if you're selling your paintings now, I think these are good to go. Are these your favorites, Dee? Like, do you have other brands that you use that you found similar or that you like more? Red brown. So I was telling people like the light fastness on every single one is 5 and 5 stars, except for cobalt turquoise, which is 4 stars. And I'm gonna just stop saying because every single one was 5, but because you're here and you're literally talking about that now, yeah, most of them are really light fast according to my experiments today, and we are only through half of them. But as far as I can remember, like from just, oh, I didn't put the light fastness on this card when I swatched it before, but from what I remember, they're just consistently light fast. So you're selling originals, I'm going to assume, not prints, because if you were selling prints, you don't need to worry about light fastness, I guess. PBR 25. Yours aren't the pure pigment set, it's the other set, maybe 36 colors. Are there more not light fast ones in that? Maybe the pure pigment set is more light fast than some binder just came out, but it's not as bad as the Van Dyke Brown. That's just red. Where's the brown in this? I love the color though. I want a jacket that color. Not a jacket, like a grandpa sweater, like the one that I was wearing a few minutes ago that I got paint on. Oh, that gets nice and dark. That's beautiful. Red brown is one of my favorite colors to wear because I feel like it brings out the very little red I have in my skin. Green also seems to do that. I have olive colored skin, so I just don't have a lot of pigment. I'll wear makeup for these live streams, otherwise you won't be able to see me. I'll blend into the wall behind me. But without makeup, I'm just kind of no color. Well, I'm kind of green, I guess. This is my real, I'm not wearing foundation, so this is my real color, but I put blush and stuff. Burnt Sienna number 2. Number 2. Yep, we've got another 5-star light fast, just like all the rest of them. Out of your 36 pigment set, are a lot of them not light fast? D? I'm asking D. This is semi-opaque and it's non-staining. PR 102. I love burnt sienna. Oh, this one's hard to open. A lot of them are kind of glued shut. With these browns, I'm getting anxious to like, okay, that's weird. It's like got a ring of white around it. I don't know if that's binder separation or if it's mold. I suspect it's mold. Because of my mold allergy, this is gonna go back. just in case that's what it is. I don't want to deal with it. And I hope I blew on it before I realized it was potentially mold. I would have like dabbed it and then thrown the tissue away if I'd realized. Now that possible mold is all over my table. Chances are it's not mold, because chances are, like, why would that happen? Most paints don't get moldy. Just that one brand did. Indian red. But now I have anxiety about that. Or I should say, I'm just careful about it. Very light fast. It is transparent, but it's staining. Cool. So tiny pigments. PR 101. I need some water. D says, actually I love some of my select Daniel Smiths much better, but as a whole set, yes, prefer my smaller Schmincke Hortum set. Yes, selling only my originals at this point. Ooh, put your like your handles in the chat so that we can all go and check out what you make, what your art is. Okay, so like I just tried Schmincke for the first time and I didn't like it. I found it to be like, once you put it down, it kind of just stays where it's at, and it has a very watery color water look, which is cool if that's where you want your paintings to be. But for me, I kind of want it to look more realistic than like it's a watercolor painting. You don't know the light fastness. Got them before folks started asking to buy them and never went back to check. I apply a spray UV fixative, then cold wax, and advise to frame in UV out of direct sunlight now. Okay, that's great. That's a good idea. Although I do wonder though, if your paints are light fast anyways, just cause Mission Gold is like that now, but if they're like much older, then the set I have. How many years did you say you've been using them for? Like, do you know if they used to be less careful about that? Less careful about light fastness. The company, I mean. Sorry, I don't know if I'm making sense. That's a good idea though. Like, if you're not sure, UV fixative. Why do you do the wax? The cold wax. I've just used the cold wax because I just like the finish more. Do you like how the UV fixative looks? I like my work to be a little bit matte, and I haven't sold my work yet, but when I've shown in a gallery or something, or when I've sent a painting to my friend and I put cold wax. Although I didn't call it cold wax, I just called it wax. Is there a reason you're calling it cold wax? So the next one's Rose Madder. And, oh, we've got an only 4-star here. That doesn't surprise me. A lot of the pinks or pinkish colors I always find to be less light fast than the other colors. So it is semi-transparent and semi-staining, and it is PR 176. What I'm going to do about the paint that I suspect could be moldy, I'm going to clean it thoroughly, probably with the mask on, and then I'm going to reseal it and then check on it in a couple of months, and if it's, or whatever, like whenever I decide I want to use it. And if it grew back, I'm going to assume it's not like binder separation. I'm going to assume that it actually grew mold. Which is, you know, it can happen. It's not likely, but it could happen. It's a beautiful color. And honestly, I feel like 4 stars is still probably pretty good. I'd probably still use that in a painting. Yeah, D says, yeah, I don't love the Schmincke either. Give me the vibrancy of Mijello or the granulation or Daniel Smith. I assume my set isn't bad in terms of light fastness, but just can't hurt to be careful. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you frame? So you're saying you suggest framed. So you sell your stuff not framed, I guess? Or I would assume. When I've done, I don't like frames for my work. So, or I don't like the process of framing my work. It's so expensive and so stressful. I feel like it's hard to get it done right. And so I'm just like, I'm going to put the wax on it and it'll be sealed and you can do whatever you want with it, but I want it to be matte. I don't like my work framed because frames are shiny, and I don't like that you can't see the artwork unless you're right in front of it. Like if I'm in an art museum, I don't like it if I can't see the work because I'm standing off at the side. The brand I use calls it Cold Wax Medium. I think I use the same brand. I think I have it. Maybe I'll go grab it in a second. Quinacridone Violet. You can tell me if it's the one you have. I haven't used it in a while because I haven't been in any shows in the last year or so. Although, actually, the last show I was in, I didn't use it. No, I used it on them. Did I? I don't remember. I literally made a video about it, so you could go back and watch. It was the bug show. But I don't remember. So, okay, this is Quinacridone Violet. It is very light fast, semi-opaque, staining, and PV19. Yeah, I must have used the cold wax. Oh, I used a spray for the first time on those ones, because they were much bigger than the piece that I made for my friend. How big are your pieces if you're using the cold wax medium? Do you apply it with your hands? Because that's how I applied it with my bare fingers. I couldn't get gloves to work. Yes, I sell. Dee says, yes, I sell unframed, usually with a matte. Don't assume they'll frame, hence the fixative plus wax. Yeah, it's probably a good assumption. Although, if someone's buying a piece of work, maybe they will. I mean, it's an original too. It's not like it's just a print. Sorry, we shouldn't talk about prints like that. Prints are awesome, but an original is something else. I don't want to put down people who just do prints or devalue a print, because some people do a limited print run and then they charge quite a bit of money for the print, and I think that makes a lot of sense. That's a beautiful color. And that one, I don't know if it's how I put the water down, but these two really like kind of flew. Yeah, vibrant is a good way to describe these, because even though I've changed the settings to try to like tone it down, it's super bright, and it's probably brighter than the other ones. Now I use a shop towel, prefer blue paper towel to apply, then buff off with the same. Oh, I researched how to apply it, and I never saw anybody doing that. That sounds brilliant. It's so much better for your body to not be touching the wax. I mean, I did try to use a glove. It's just that the glove, it would get stuck. Dioxazine Violet. So I took the gloves off. This one is only 3 stars for light fastness. That to me seems kind of odd. I feel like in other brands it's very light fast, so I don't know what's up with Mijello's. Not very light fast dioxazine violet, which I use a lot because it makes a really good deep color with no granulation. So I like to use it for paintings. Ah, too much. Go back. I think some binder came out, but I don't think it's too bad. That is dark. That is amazingly dark. And very, very thick, so I think we've got binder separation where the paint's just not moving. Yeah, I just picked up some other paint that's right next to it. I think that was the binder that I picked up. It was mostly binder I picked up and very little paint. Sorry, I don't know if that's making sense. When I first put my paintbrush in, it was picking up only paint, and it was kind of stiff. And then I went in I went over here, and it was like, oh, okay, let's see if that's binder and I mix it in with the paint that's now on the paper by itself, and that worked out really well. Like mixing it together, it got a little smoother. Yeah, it looks like every other dioxazine violet I've ever used, which is nice. It's nice when colors across brands are named the same thing. He says, we'll likely get to prints eventually. I never intended to sell, was just posting on IG and folks started asking for them, but I do all kinds of things, mostly mixed media. Loved cradled wood panel. I've heard the term cradled wood panel. What does cradled wood mean? I don't remember. Yeah, I like mixed media too, but not like probably true mixed media, more like watercolor with colored pencil on top, which I don't think is particularly extreme. Although if I wanted to show my work at a watercolor exhibition, I maybe couldn't because I'm not a purist. We've got Prussian blue, and we're back to being totally light fast as you can get. And it is semi-opaque. It is staining, and it is PB27. I love Prussian blue in most brands. I don't remember if I love it in this one. Yeah, I do. I've already swatched it. It's in my travel palette. Well, there's a lot of binder in this. It's very, I guess the word waxy almost, like, or like kind of a honey consistency. I thought I put my phone on silent. It was on. It was. I swear it was. I don't know what happened. Let's fix that real quick. All right. Then we've got Phthalo blue. It's written out, but I can't say that. Oh, imagine a canvas just as a wood, not flat, hence the cradled. Can get different depths, like the canvas can mount watercolor paintings to them. They look so polished like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I still am not sure if I've seen, I mean, I'm sure I've seen what you're talking about, but the thing I really love is to paint on clayboard, which you can mount in what sounds like what you're talking about. Oh, we need to write this down first. That's what the last show I was in, that's what I decided to do because I didn't want to deal with framing. So I just used the board, the clay board. So phthalo blue is a really good substitute for cyan if you're doing the CMYK method of color mixing. This one is semi-transparent and semi-staining. PB156. So that's why it's on, actually, so I'll show you. It's on my hands. We're gonna have to clean that off or it's gonna get everywhere. Phthalo blue is so staining. It says semi, but that's not true. Like it stains so bad. Do you use the cradled, do you use the cradled wood for watercolor? You're saying you can mount a watercolor painting to them. Does that mean after you've done it or do you mount it before? So this card that I made for this palette, I originally had, I was doing a lot of mixing, so I did phthalo blue, and then I don't know if you can see, but I cut some paper and added cerulean instead, just because I prefer how cerulean looks. I was kind of tired of phthalo blue after using it for years. And I restricted myself from buying very many watercolor paints. I wanted to make sure I really liked them before I bought other sets. This one I can feel like the binder's like pretty thick. It's kind of not moving. And so I just used the same colors over and over until I could prove it to myself that I actually really liked watercolor. Because I have in the past gotten excited about a hobby and dropped it. I think like most people with ADHD, that happens. And it's fine, but the clutter can pile up if you're not careful. And so can the expense. So I've learned to be a little bit more picky in how I'm going to spend my money on a new hobby. I have lots of watercolors now though, because it turned out I really love them. And different watercolors do different things better or worse, like different brands. When I first started using watercolor, I mixed brands all the time. Oh, this is funny. Cerulean is literally the same pigment number as phthalo blue, so I switched it out in my palette, but I was just switching it for something with a little more red in it, which kind of doesn't make sense because Prussian blue has, or this version of it has a lot of red in it. You know, here it looks like the Prussian blue is granulating, but here doesn't look like it. I'm gonna need to let my dog in. Hold on one second. Taya, come. You wanna come in? I don't know if you can see her, but you can probably hear her walking around. You hear the clicking, that's Taya. So I'm not sure what my motivation was for switching out the color, other than I'm tired of phthalo blue, I'm not doing it anymore. I think in most other sets, this wouldn't be cerulean, this would be phthalo blue red shade instead of phthalo blue green shade, which is what I'm assuming plain old phthalo blue is. I feel like the names for watercolors can be so weird. Oh, wait. Oh, that's why I switched it out. Look at that. I don't know if you can tell. That's the red one, that's the green one. It was the opposite. I wasn't tired of it. I was committed. But I made this set kind of like after I stopped insisting to myself that I had to mix all my colors. This one, obviously, because I've got red, and I've got a brown, and I've got two yellows. I don't know. It's an actually, like, I actually think that this is really unattractive, but you can mix all the colors that you could possibly want with these colors, even though I think it doesn't look as pretty as something like this that has more variety. Like, there's no green on here. And I don't think that looks great, but it worked. You can make lots of greens. Are we done? Are we ending with ultramarine? And we finished in 2 hours? That's amazing. Ultramarine light. I'm pretty sure I have an ultramarine dark. Am I missing a paint? Maybe. This is years ago though, that like I did these, so I don't know. That one came out beautifully. I don't think any binder came out. Forgot to write it down. So, light fastness is amazing. It's transparent. It's non-staining. PB 29. I really like ultramarine's color, like regular ultramarine. I really like the color for skin tones, or my husband's skin tone, as like a base layer. I feel like that's probably the color he is. Maybe the phthalo blue here, I would call this phthalo blue red. That might be a good match. I wouldn't say any of the green ones. I don't think he's a very green person. But I would say that's his undertone. I mean, his overtone is like that. Oh, you can't see it. That. But because it granulates, I very rarely will use it to paint him because I don't like it. Okay. We are done. While that dries for a minute, I'm going to turn it so you all can see it. I'm going to adjust the screen so that hopefully you can see it all at one time. And then I'm going to get the box. I'm going to get the palette that I was talking about at the beginning. Those of you who've dropped in recently, the reason why I got this set is because you can mix your own colors with it. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. You can do that with all other colors. You're seeing behind Oz's. Why is this so freaking zoomed in? I have no idea what happened. I don't think it was like this when I started the stream. It's so odd. So weird. Yeah, now you can see it, and you can also see the light cord. There, that's out of your way. I'm gonna move that out of your way. I'm gonna take a drink of water. Dee says, like a framing alternative. I'm so sorry, I don't know what you're referring to, like a framing alternative. Like, I don't remember. Oh, I'm not sure what you're referencing. You also say, it's not easy to come by now that I don't live in the States though. Oh, where do you live? Or what's not easy to come by? Oh, sorry, I missed. I guess it scrolled. Dee says, you can mount the paper on the wood. And for me, it's usually a mixed media piece, but that can be anything on paper. I only do abstracts. Most people mount after as a part of the finishing. Oh, okay, like a framing alternative. Ah, that makes sense. Okay. And it's not as easy to come by now that you don't live in the States though. Oh, okay. All right. So I don't remember what they're called. I'd have to scroll up. What are we calling these things? Why won't it let me scroll up? Cradled Cradled wood. This is dusty because I haven't used it. But this is the Mission Gold Studio palette. And I don't typically like plastic. I just don't like how like the paint moves on it. I prefer like a metal pan or ceramic like this. But do I have any others? I have one other plastic pan for Daniel Smith. I also just don't like the vibe. Okay, but what they did is that all of these paints are single pigment. And so if you go and you put the paint into the well, it tells you the correct amounts to mix certain colors. So for example, you could mix, number 3 is gamboge, by mixing these two colors. So a little bit of orange and a little bit of something else, probably a blue. I'm not sure because it's too dark to tell. And then, let's see, like 35 is sap green, and sap green looks like it's green and orange together. And the reason I wanted to like do this is because I wanted to learn how the paints are made. I really love knowing how the sausage is made. I love knowing, I love understanding things. I remember things better if I can understand them. And I just feel like that's just like how I've always been. I love learning. I love understanding how things work. So when I received my set, the Pure Pigment set, I realized it wasn't what I had seen in a YouTube video. They had this deal going on. They mixed all the colors, and I realized like, oh, I don't have the right colors. I was missing these 5 colors, but I had gotten in addition these 5 colors. 6 colors, 7 colors. 6 colors. So I was missing 6. So I ended up buying them later. Okay, so I bought Permanent Red, Scarlet Lake I don't have, Cherry Red I don't have, Crimson Lake, Prussian Blue, Indian Red. I think I didn't get all the reds because I was like, I already have way too many reds. I don't even paint with red that much. And I get the concept of like how we've mixed them. I feel like even if I don't have the right colors to do this mixing thing. Let's see if it's written on here what they're doing. Tips and techniques for using your Mission Gold Pure Pigment set economically. It has the same name, which is probably how I bought the wrong one. Transforming your Mission Gold Pure Pigment 26 color set into a 54 color palette. I don't know what happened, but I bought the wrong one. So I would love to make a video about it, but I'm not going to buy the other set just to make the video because it's expensive and I already have enough watercolor paint. I have enough watercolor paint to last me probably my entire life. Does that mean I'll stop buying watercolor paint? No, that's not what it means, because that would be such a sad, sad thing. There's always new colors to try. And I run out of the colors that I use the most, and I still want to try some other brands. And I'd rather sell or donate my paints than to stop learning about the different paints that there are. Dee says, my set's definitely larger, so check the light fastness. So I'll check the light fastness and see if they're wanting. I may look into Pure Pigment as an additional option. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that hopefully, you know, watching me swatch these out gives you an idea of like which ones, but this is not all the Pure Pigment set. Let me check. I'll tell you which ones you probably wouldn't get with the set that I have. There are multiple sets. I don't know what they are because it's been 5 years. I'm sure things have changed. But yeah, the ones that I was missing that I ended up buying were Permanent Red, Prussian blue. I don't think I got Indian red. Nope. Indian red did not get swatched today. Yeah, so depending on which set you get, you might have things different than what I swatched out here today. All right, well, I'm just about done here. I'm gonna switch over to the face cam to tell you all goodbye. Oh no, wait, I can't do that because I don't have the mic. I guess I could fix that real fast. Did I fix it? Wait. Well, there's a mic here. You guys can hear me, right? So it says that, I'm showing mic. I must have fixed it. Just didn't remember doing that. I was a little frazzled. I was like, what is happening? How could I not have sound? There's my new easel, and there's the painting I'm working on, and that is behind the Oz curtain. Although I wouldn't say I'm really one for trying to hide things anyways. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. Yeah. Oh, you need to run. It was nice visiting with you, Dee, and good luck with your pigment. I mean, your Mijello. Like, I do not have the words. 2 hours in, and good luck with your new paints. Hopefully, you find what you need. Thank you all for who joined me today. I hope that what we've done today was useful to somebody, and I will see you all in the next one.